This comment said, homegirl is visibly uncomfortable, bruh. Let's go down, look, see what other people had to say after that. This comment stated, homegirl is visibly uncomfortable, but she was comfortable enough to dress like that in public. Make it make sense.
After complete mayhem struck the Chicago skies, Angel Reese just exploded. Naturally, the clamor around her increased along with her star, and not all of it was applause. The once admired Chicago club has become a shell of its former self. Thanks to Angel Reese for everything. She is not interested in being sexualized. Angel Reese repeatedly stated that she didn't want to be sexualized, but look at what you're wearing, bro. The great Teresa Weatherspoon was the first to have to leave because the steroid accusations she was facing were enough to make her declare, nope, not for me after all. Who could blame her? While all that turmoil is going on, who wants to stay? Another growing talent is Kennedy Carter, but guess what? After seeing the obvious, she concluded that the league was no longer the right place for her. Angel had the future and the talent, but her abilities were reduced to dust by a small amount of additional money. Chicago was dominant, but you can now see it fall apart due to ego drama and poor choices. I suppose that wasn't the subject. He's telling the truth, which is why she appeared uneasy around him. We've all sensed the void after Chicago's demise. We wonder if we will ever see that fire again, because the team that once gave us hope is now only a ghost of what it once was. Let's be honest, when admirers begin to wonder if this is all part of her legacy, they begin to scratch their brains. After all, if you can have people talking about anything other than your talent, why build a career around it? Many others shook their heads in dismay at the first ensemble, which consisted of a crop top and shorts. Once praised for her perseverance and unwavering determination on the basketball court, Angel Reese appeared to take a detour with a decision that wasn't consistent with the role model she had become for many young athletes. Her decision wasn't the only thing that disappointed her. It was in the lost chance to take a position and show the world that her skill, her passion, and her unquestionable leadership in women's basketball were what made her valuable. The world didn't hold back, of course. She was accused of dressed sexily and demeaning the sport in comments that came in from all directions. Supporters who had encouraged her at every turn were deeply disappointed. Now she doubted her judgment. They had grown to love Angel Reese, but this was not her. In women's athletics, she had emerged as a ray of hope, a representation of overcoming obstacles and dispelling myths. It was like witnessing a hero stumble when she made a decision that attracted criticism and overshadowed her achievements. Unless they want to witness Angel Reese shaking her ass at a nightclub, nobody is going out to see her crazy ass. As the rumors began to circulate accusations that went beyond the argument over her attire, the disappointment only grew. Famous for her strength and perseverance on the basketball court, Angel Reese was the target of unfounded allegations. Trolls, looking for any excuse to downplay her accomplishments, started using the word steroids to cast doubt on the veracity of her accomplishments. The addiction is genuine. Attentional addiction is genuine. Her unquestionable domination on the court caused people to start doubting her performance, not because she lacked skill. Trolls started implying that her achievement wasn't organic and that there might be a sinister reason for her stamina and strength. One especially nasty comment made me think that she must be on something. Her strength, endurance, and unwavering enthusiasm were no longer praised, but instead examined, questioned, and questioned. You can't defeat a big, terrible wolf, Angel Reese, but then you sob like Courage the Cowardly Dog. When the villain receives an L, no one is sad. Additionally, you have declared yourself to be the how could they not be then. It's normal to wonder if someone's intense brightness is the result of their labors or if it's the manufactured glow of something darker. Although Reese had always been a remarkable athlete, these accusations were now tarnishing her accomplishments. People were looking for answers. Was it steroids or dedication? Seeing someone who was once the game's pride entangled in such rumors is a tough thing to swallow. The accusations felt like a betrayal of trust to people who supported her and believed in her. He got into a lot of trouble after saying some hurtful things about Angel Reese. This story is ridiculous, guys. The conflict was exacerbated by the competition with Caitlin Clark. In sharp contrast to Reese, Clark was frequently referred to as the golden girl of basketball. Reese was portrayed as bold and attention-seeking, whereas Clark was perceived as calm and diligent. On the court, there was more than just a clash of styles. It turned into a moral conflict. Using the Reese scandals to emphasize their favorite's alleged superiority, Clark supporters were quick to add insults to injury. Someone tweeted that Caitlin might teach her a few things. She doesn't aim to generate headlines for the wrong reasons out here. The comparisons were constant. They also touched a nerve, even though they weren't totally fair. Once seemingly unstoppable, Reese now seemed preoccupied, more interested in the drama than the game. Her decisions had taken precedence over her skill. Perhaps the worst tragedy of all was that hatred pays two. Angel Reese said to her lonely male fans, translation, I need your attention. I need money to translate. In other words, nothing about me is genuine. In other words, I can't be a celebrity by myself. But the wild speculation about her destiny was the most startling development. Encouraged by the controversies, critics started speculating that Reese was moving away from basketball. Some comments went too far, saying she was becoming a character more suitable for pornographic entertainment than professional sports. According to one comment, she's just a step away from OnlyFans. Someone else scoffed, you might as well give up basketball and pursue modeling instead. She's obviously going there. These comments were really harsh. They were disastrous. However, it's difficult to avoid wondering whether there is some truth to the exaggeration when you consider the decisions she has made. It appears that her priorities have changed, and they are not in line with her responsibilities as a leader and an athlete. Rather of sparking discussions about her abilities, she's starting arguments about professionalism and decency. What became of Reese, the angel who let her game speak for her? New episodes of her podcast, Unapologetically Angel, are being released. She's using Caitlin Clark's name for clicks once more. Seeing it is heartbreaking. As someone who not only succeeded in her sport but also promoted it, Reese was positioned to be a trailblazer. Rather, she has turned into a controversial figure, and a lot of it seems self-inflicted. She conveys the idea that talent is insufficient by her actions, whether they are the provocative attire, the rumors of performance enhancement, or her incessant demand for attention. It's unfortunate because her talent is indisputable. This is more than disappointing for her fans. It enrages me. How many young athletes are given the same chance as Reese? For the stage she's been given, how many people would kill? However, she seems to be wasting everything by exchanging respect for fame and content for show. To be regarded as one of the greats, people wanted to watch her excel on the court. They now question if she will be recognized at all, or if she will only serve as another warning story. The rippling effect is the worst. Everyone who admires Reese and believes in her is impacted by her actions, not just herself. She used to be a role model for young girls, but now they see someone who seems more focused on her appearance than her influence. Her parents are forced to come up with justifications after praising her as an example of diligence and tenacity. Additionally, the fight for equality and respect takes another toll on basketball, a sport that depends on players like Reese to develop and flourish. I've experienced a lot. I've witnessed a lot. I have experienced numerous attacks. There was so much more that Angel Reese could have been. She might have been the leader who motivated a generation or the player who altered the course of the game. Rather, she is now a source of disappointment and debate. She still has time to make things better, but does she want to? That is the question. Or has she already made the decision that being discussed, for whatever reason, is sufficient? Witnessing a celebrity's decline is never easy, particularly when that celebrity had the chance to inspire millions of people and revolutionize her sport. Basketball player Angel Reese was more than that. She represented optimism, tenacity, and success. However, that story changed at some point. As a result of decisions that feel like betrayals to individuals who formerly admired her, she is now the focus of gossip, whispers, and open contempt, rather than being honored for her extraordinary talent. Reese had pride and a strong feeling of resolve when she first entered the public eye. She was taking ownership of the game, not merely playing it. In a sport that sorely needed its stars to shine brighter, her fiery attitude and unquestionable supremacy on the court were a welcome change. Then the mistakes happened. The choices that transformed awe into disillusionment. Being self-assured and unrepentant is one thing. It's quite another to allow that confidence to conflate with bad judgment. For example, her contentious wild and out attire. Every choice matters in a world where athletes are scrutinized all the time. Reese was aware that she was a public figure whose behavior and appearance would be closely examined. However, she decided to wear something that, albeit innocuous on its own, served as the catalyst for a flurry of criticism. What they stood for was more important than the clothing itself. Many thought she was exchanging her well-earned respect for short-lived spotlight. The heartbreaking part is that gimmicks are unnecessary for Angel Reese. She possesses the ability, the platform, and the capacity to motivate others only by her deeds. Therefore, why would she decide to enter a storm that she might have simply avoided?